This is Panamint Valley. To my left is Death Valley, and 2 weeks ago, something rather remarkable happened here.
I think the thing that surprised both of us was that we saw the jet first before we actually heard it on the radio. And to Richard's surprise, it was a 117, and we knew they'd been flying for years, but no one in our group had ever seen one.
Previously, another person had heard a pair of Lehigh 117s called out as traffic, but this was the first sighting, watching it come over the mountain as a little speck into Panamint Valley, and put a lens on it and saw that it was an F-117 platform.
Yeah, and he announced to Joshua that he was a single radio aircraft and would be performing north and south runs in Panamint Valley at 200 feet. And we knew that something unusual was about to happen.
A few fleeting glimpses proved that the Nighthawks were still flying, but that all changed on February the 26th, right here, with a very close encounter.
He would do south to north runs and go on the other side of that little ridge line and then do his 180, pirouetting and going back south again. And I think from the north-south to the south-north, it was maybe 4 minutes before he came back around, and then he would be gone down south for about 10 minutes. All the way maybe down to Ballarat before he came back north.
This is the exact spot where the F-117s put in their very public appearance, flying right over the top of here and circling that rock in the distance at 200 feet before coming back and heading back to the south. The first F-117 stealth fighters flew with the 4450th Tactical Group at Tonopah from 1983. They operated in total secrecy for 5 years.
I mean, we knew they'd been in Nevada and people had seen them, but there's no way it would come out here in Panamint where the public could see it up close. And that's exactly what happened, flying over a highway. It was really hard to believe.
Unbelievable.
The US Air Force officially retired the F-117 in April 2008. However, a handful have remained operational ever since.
Once we heard it call back in on saline, we took a chance and ran to the car and drove down to Panamint Valley as quickly as we could.
At a safe speed, mind you. And ran into a sandstorm.
Yeah, the first pass we saw of the 117, you could barely make him out through the dust storm.
Yeah.
And then we managed to get across to the other side of the valley through the dust storm, and then we got roughly one pass each way, one right over our heads, and then one going away.
There's a chance he would come back and repeat the test. So we went straight to the dog bone Wednesday morning, and we were going to give him a time limit of 2 hours, and in an hour he'd already called in with the 2 F-16s, and it happened again, back and forth, 40 minutes worth.
And the F-16s were always on opposite ends of a racetrack. The Shaka sign that shocked all of us. We couldn't believe that they would actually go out in public and be so blasé about it.
That's a good word, blasé. Just very cool. Look at me, I'm in my stealth jet. Yeah, that was a lucky shot too. We were sitting down for breakfast and we were going to go in with the public at 2 o'clock, whatever, to go see the jet. And someone came in at Nellis, and someone said, "Oh, it's coming in just half an hour or so." So we left our breakfast on the table, went out to the desert, and shot the first 2 stealth fighters that were ever put on public display before they were actually viewable, landing at Nellis. That was April of 1990. 11 years after retirement and seeing the aircraft fly again. It was a little bit of an out-of-body experience.
There was a lot of yelling and gesticulating at the time.
It was like seeing it again for the first time, really.
It's unclear why the F-117s are still flying. While they do possess some unique operational capabilities, their continued service appears to be linked to test and evaluation missions. Although until now, these have been confined to the Nellis Ranges, until this very public appearance.